You know, I've always been kind of fascinated by those, you know, like sacred sites, the places where people have gathered for like centuries, you know, to connect with something bigger than themselves. Oh. And I came across this video. It's about the Kamakhya Devi Mandir. Okay. And it's called Inside India's Most Powerful Temple, Kamakhya Devi Mandir. And it's from the Best of TRS YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
And I was really blown away by it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna take a deep dive into this temple today.
Cool.
Have you ever heard of a temple where the goddess like menstruates?
No, I have not heard of that.
Get ready, because that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, wow.
So
so what's really intriguing about the Kamakhya Temple is that it's one of the most important Shakti Pithas in India.
Okay, wait, before we get ahead of ourselves, can you break down like what a Shakti Pitha is for our listeners?
Sure.
Like, what is that?
So in Hindu mythology, Shakti Pithas are sacred sites where parts of the goddess Sati's body are believed to have fallen after she self-immolated.
Oh, wow.
And each site is associated with a specific body part, and they're scattered all across India and even beyond.
Wow, so these sites are like pieces of a cosmic puzzle, like each holding like a unique energy or power.
Exactly. And the Kamakhya Temple is believed to be where Sati's yoni or womb fell.
Wow.
And that makes it one of the most potent Shakti Pithas, a place deeply connected to feminine energy and creation.
Yeah, it makes you think about the symbolism, right?
Yeah.
Like the womb is the source of life, creation, renewal. It just seems fitting that such a powerful site would be associated with this particular like body part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this connects to a point the video makes about visiting a powerful site associated with your chosen deity at least once a year.
Oh, okay.
It's believed to profoundly enhance your spiritual practice, immersing you in that specific energy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the video also mentioned something about the Kamakhya Temple being a major center for Tantra.
Yes.
Specifically the Vamachara path.
Yes, Vamachara, often called the left-hand path, is considered the highest path in Tantra.
Okay.
But it's also often misunderstood.
Yeah, I have to admit, I've heard some things about Tantra that make it seem a bit, shall we say, mysterious? Maybe even a little intimidating.
It definitely has a mystique around it.
Yeah.
But it's important to understand that Vamachara, while using elements like meat, alcohol, and fish in its rituals, isn't about engaging in like dark practices.
Right.
It's a path that embraces all aspects of existence, including those that might be considered taboo in other traditions.
Oh, so it's more about like pushing boundaries and confronting our fears, kind of.
You could say that Vamachara challenges us to go beyond the surface, to explore the deeper, often hidden aspects of ourselves and the universe. But as the video emphasizes, it's a path that requires a significant amount of spiritual preparation and guidance.
Yeah, it's not something you just jump into lightly.
Precisely. You need a strong foundation and a deep understanding of the principles involved.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of pushing boundaries, let's talk about the Ambubachi Mela.
Okay.
This festival, this is unique to the Kamakhya Temple, right?
Yes, the Ambubachi Mela is a 4-day festival celebrating the goddess's annual menstruation.
Wait, the goddess, she actually menstruates?
Well, it's a symbolic representation, but a powerful one.
Okay.
During the Mela, the temple is closed because a natural spring inside the inner sanctum, the Garbhagriha, turns reddish.
Symbolizing menstrual blood.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's seen as a time of purification and rejuvenation for the goddess, just like a woman's menstrual cycle.
So it's not like just about the physical act of menstruation,
Right.
but about like the deeper meaning behind it, like renewal, fertility, the cyclical nature of life and death.
That's a great way to put it.
Right.
And during these 4 days, certain practices are restricted. Starting new rituals or performing fire ceremonies, for example, are put on hold.
It's like the whole world pauses to honor this natural process.
You could say that.
Wow.
And while certain activities are restricted, the Ambubachi Mela is a time of celebration, particularly for those practicing Tantra.
They see it as like a manifestation of the goddess's raw power.
Exactly. There's a palpable energy, a sense of anticipation for the temple to reopen and for the goddess to emerge renewed.
Right, right.
Yeah.
The video mentioned something about a cloth.
Yes.
The Raktabastra, which I'm guessing is related to this festival.
Yes, the Raktabastra, or cloth of blood, is a piece of cloth that's soaked in the spring water during the Ambubachi Mela.
Okay.
It's believed to be incredibly potent,
Okay.
especially for those practicing specific tantric rituals.
So it's literally like infused with this symbolic menstrual blood.
Yes.
I'm imagining it's highly sought after.
You're right.
It is.
And this is where we can start to delve into some of the more specific practices within Tantra.
Okay.
You see, in certain tantric rituals, objects that have come into contact with powerful energies are used as yantras.
Yantras, like tools or instruments.
Exactly.
Okay.
They act as conduits for that energy, helping to focus the mind and connect with the divine.
Right.
So you could think of the Raktabhastra as a yantra, but with a direct connection to the goddess, which makes it even more significant.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. The video even shared like an anecdote about someone using the Raktabhastra to cleanse a home of negative energy.
And that speaks to the deep belief in the power of this object.
Yeah.
It's believed to carry the essence of the goddess's energy, capable of purifying and transforming.
Okay, so we've talked about Shakti Pithas,
Right.
Tantra,
Yeah.
this incredible festival where the goddess menstruates.
Right.
What does all of this tell us about Kamakhya Devi herself?
Well, the video emphasizes that Kamakhya Devi is an extremely powerful goddess,
Okay.
one who sees beyond superficial appearances and understands a devotee's past, present, and future.
She sees right through us, huh?
You could say that.
Wow.
And that's what makes her so compelling for many people.
Okay.
She's not a distant, judgmental deity.
Right.
She's a force of nature, a mother figure who embraces us with all our flaws and complexities.
So it's not like just about asking for favors or making offerings.
Yeah.
It's about a deeper connection, a recognition of her power and our own potential for transformation.
Exactly. And that's a key takeaway here.
Yeah.
People come to Kamakhya with different intentions, different levels of past experience. Their experience at the temple, their connection with the goddess will be unique to their own spiritual journey.
Okay.
It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of spirituality.
Right. It's about like meeting you where you are on your path.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that brings us to another important point. The temple's architecture.
Okay.
Did you know that the Kamakhya temple doesn't have a traditional idol of the goddess?
No, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. That's pretty unusual, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Instead of an idol, there's a natural rock formation, a yoni-shaped cleft in the earth
Wow.
that represents the goddess.
Okay.
It's a powerful reminder that the divine can manifest in forms beyond our traditional understanding.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So you're going to this temple to connect with a natural formation,
Right.
like a symbol that's both ancient and very much alive. That must be an incredible experience.
It is, and it speaks to the idea that the divine is not confined to statues or images.
Right.
It's present in the natural world, in the very fabric of existence.
This whole concept of Shakti Pithas with like different parts of the goddess scattered across the landscape, it's incredibly intriguing.
It is.
Are there any other notable Shakti Pithas besides Kamakhya?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
There are believed to be 51 or even 108 Shakti Pithas.
Wow.
Each one represents a different aspect of the goddess and holds its own unique energy.
Wow, that's a lot of powerful energy.
Indeed. And they're all connected by this ancient myth, this story of Sati's self-immolation and Shiva's grief.
It's like a map of sacred energy points across the Indian subcontinent, like each one telling a piece of a larger story.
Exactly. And each site attracts devotees seeking specific blessings or forms of divine intervention.
Oh, okay.
For example, the Vaishno Devi Temple in Jammu and Kashmir is associated with Sati's hand
Okay.
and is believed to grant wishes and fulfill desires.
So you might go to Kamakhya for healing and transformation, but to Vaishno Devi for like a specific request or blessing.
Precisely. And that highlights the diversity of Hindu spirituality.
All right.
There's no one right way to connect with the divine.
Right.
It's about finding the path that resonates with you. The practices and deities that speak to your soul.
This whole conversation has me thinking about the role of ritual in spiritual practice, like the Ambubachi Mela, for example.
Right.
It's such a vivid and embodied ritual.
Right.
What role do you think rituals play in helping us connect with the divine?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Rituals, when done with intention and understanding, can be incredibly powerful tools.
Okay.
They provide a framework for connecting with the sacred, a way to step outside of our everyday routines and enter a space of heightened awareness.
It's like creating a doorway to the divine.
Exactly. And that's what Tantra comes in.
Not.
Tantra, at its core, is about understanding and working with these subtle energies, using rituals and practices to facilitate spiritual growth.
So it's not just about the rituals themselves, but about the intention and awareness we bring to them.
Precisely. It's about understanding the deeper symbolism behind the actions, the chants, the offerings. It's about aligning our inner world with the outer world, creating a bridge between the human and the divine.
This deep dive is already opening my eyes to a whole new world of spiritual practice and belief.
That's the beauty of exploring different traditions, isn't it?
Yeah.
It expands our understanding and invites us to consider different perspectives.
It makes you realize how much we can learn from cultures and traditions different from our own.
Absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing the universality of spiritual seeking while honoring the unique expressions of each tradition.
So much food for thought.
Yeah.
This has been an incredible deep dive so far.
I agree.
I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of Tantra and the mysteries of the Kamakhya Devi Mandir.
There's always more to explore.
Right.
The video only gives us a glimpse into this rich and complex world.
And that's what makes it so fascinating, right? It leaves you wanting to learn more.
Precisely. It sparks that curiosity and encourages us to delve deeper into these ancient practices and beliefs.
Okay, before we get carried away, I want to make sure we address one more thing that was highlighted in the video.
Okay.
The power of Kamakhya Devi herself.
Yes.
It's clear that she's not your average goddess.
You're right. The video really emphasizes her ability to see beyond the surface, to understand our deepest desires and fears. She's not about punishment or judgment.
Right.
She's about transformation and empowerment.
And that's what draws people to her.
Absolutely. People come to Kamakhya seeking healing, seeking guidance, seeking a deeper connection with the feminine divine. They come to her because they believe in her power to transform their lives.
So it's not just about visiting a temple. No. It's about encountering a powerful force, like a living energy that can catalyze profound change.
Exactly. And that's what makes this place so special. It's a place where the boundaries between the human and the divine become blurred.
Wow.
Where miracles are said to happen and where people leave feeling transformed.
It sounds like a place that challenges our preconceived notions about spirituality and the nature of the divine.
Absolutely. And that's a good thing.
Right.
It reminds us that the divine can manifest in ways that we may not always understand or expect.
This deep dive has certainly opened my eyes to a whole new world of spiritual practice and belief.
And that's the beauty of exploration, isn't it? It expands our understanding and invites us to consider different perspectives.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It certainly does. And, it makes you think about all the other powerful rituals and beliefs that exist in different cultures around the world.
Right.
It's a reminder that our understanding of the divine is constantly evolving.
Absolutely. So for someone who might be hearing about all this for the first time, what would you say is the key takeaway about the Kamakhya Temple and this whole concept of Shakti Pithas?
I think the video captured it beautifully.
Okay.
Kamakhya Devi is a powerful force for transformation, a symbol of the feminine divine in all its raw, untamed glory.
Wow.
So whether you're seeking healing, spiritual insight, or simply a deeper connection to the sacred music, the Kamakhya Temple holds a special energy.
Yeah.
It's a place where the veils between the worlds seem to thin, a place where miracles are said to happen.
It sounds like an experience that can really shake you to your core.
Yeah.
But what about those of us who can't just hop on a plane to India? Right. What's a good next step for someone who's intrigued by this deep dive?
Well, there are many wonderful books and resources available on Tantra, Shakti Pithas, and the Kamakhya Devi Mandir.
Okay.
If you're interested in exploring the academic side of things.
Yeah.
I'd recommend checking out the works of scholars like David Gordon White or Robert Svoboda.
Okay.
They offer insightful perspectives on these topics.
Excellent suggestions. I'll definitely be adding those to my reading list.
Cool.
But beyond books,
Yeah.
what about like the practical side of things? Is there a way for someone to connect with this energy even from afar?
Absolutely. One of the beautiful things about spiritual practice is that it's not limited by physical location.
Right.
You can create your own sacred space, your own rituals to connect with the divine feminine.
Okay.
Meditation, visualization, even something as simple as like lighting a candle and setting an intention can be powerful ways to tap into that energy.
So it's about finding ways to create those doorways, those connections in our everyday lives.
Exactly. And, speaking of connecting with the divine feminine, there's another aspect of the Kamakhya Temple that we haven't touched on yet.
Okay.
The presence of other deities.
Oh, okay.
Alongside Kamakhya Devi.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The video did mention that it's not like just a temple dedicated to one goddess.
That's an important point.
Yeah.
You see, the Kamakhya Temple is a complex where you'll find shrines dedicated to 10 Mahavidyas, or great wisdom goddesses.
Right.
Each of these goddesses embodies a different aspect of the divine feminine, representing everything from creation and nurturing to destruction and transformation.
So it's like a whole pantheon of feminine power concentrated in one place.
Precisely. And this highlights the multifaceted nature of the divine feminine.
Okay.
It's not just about sweetness and light.
Right.
It's about embracing all aspects of existence, the light and the dark, the creative and the destructive.
That reminds me of something you said earlier about Vamachara and how it like challenges us to confront those taboo aspects of ourselves.
Exactly. It's all interconnected.
Right.
And this is where the study of Tantra can really deepen our understanding. Tantra helps us to see these goddesses not just as like mythological figures, but as archetypes that exist within us.
So by connecting with these goddesses, we're actually connecting with different aspects of ourselves.
That's one way to look at it.
Okay.
And by working with these energies, we can learn to integrate and balance those different aspects within ourselves.
Wow. That's pretty powerful stuff.
It is.
It's making me think about how we often like limit our understanding of the divine.
It's easy to do, especially when we're raised in a culture that tends to oversimplify spirituality.
Right.
But places like the Kamakhya Temple remind us that the divine is vast, complex, and full of surprises.
So it's about being open to new possibilities, to expanding our definition of what's sacred.
Absolutely. And, that brings us back to the video's message about the importance of pilgrimage.
Right.
Visiting these powerful sites can really shake us out of our comfort zones.
Yeah.
And open us up to new ways of seeing the world.
It's like a spiritual adventure. Like a journey into the unknown.
Exactly. And sometimes the most profound journeys are the ones that take us beyond our familiar landscapes.
Right.
Both physically and spiritually.
Oh, okay. I have to admit, this whole conversation has sparked my curiosity.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking about booking a flight to India.
I know, right?
But for those of us who can't just hop on a plane, what's a good next step for someone who wants to learn more about Tantra and the Kamakhya Devi Mandir?
Well, besides the books I mentioned earlier, there are many online resources available.
Okay.
There are websites, articles, even documentaries that can provide a deeper dive into these topics.
Right.
And, sometimes just engaging with the material, reading about it, watching videos can be a way to start connecting with that energy.
It's like planting a seed. You start with a little bit of information, a spark of curiosity, and then you see where it leads you.
Exactly. And you never know what you might discover along the way.
So we've talked about the history, the symbolism, the rituals, but I'm curious, what kind of personal experiences have people shared about their encounters with Kamakhya Devi?
Yeah.
The video hinted at some pretty powerful stuff.
You're right. It's difficult to put into words.
Yeah.
But people often describe a feeling of awe, a sense of being completely seen and understood by the goddess. Some experience profound emotional releases.
Wow.
Others feel a surge of energy or a deep sense of peace.
Okay.
It really varies from person to person.
It sounds like the experiences are as individual as the people who seek her out.
Precisely. And that's part of what makes Kamakhya Devi so compelling.
Yeah.
She's not a one-size-fits-all deity.
Right.
Her power manifests in ways that are tailored to the individual.
Yeah.
Meeting them where they are on their spiritual journey.
That's really beautiful.
It is.
It makes you wonder what other powerful rituals or beliefs exist in different cultures that might challenge our conventional understanding of the divine.
That's a great question to ponder.
Yeah.
It reminds us that the world is full of mysteries and wisdom waiting to be discovered.
This deep dive has been an incredible journey so far. We've explored ancient myths, delved into the mysteries of Tantra, and encountered a goddess who challenges our very definition of the divine.
It's true.
But before we wrap things up, I want to circle back to the Raktabastra.
Okay.
That cloth of blood.
Right.
That's so central to the Ambubachhi Mela.
Ah, yes, the Raktabastra.
Yeah.
Such a potent symbol, isn't it?
It is, and it really captures like the essence of this temple, this goddess who embraces the messy, the taboo, the life-giving power of the feminine.
Exactly. It's a reminder that the sacred isn't always pretty or pristine.
Right.
Sometimes it's raw, visceral, and deeply embodied.
And that's a powerful message, especially in a world that often tries to like sanitize and control the feminine.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The Kamakhya Temple, with its celebration of menstruation and its embrace of tantric practices, stands as a challenge to those who would try to suppress or control the power of the feminine.
It's a reminder that true spirituality embraces all aspects of existence.
Yes.
The light and the dark, the beautiful and the messy.
Beautifully said. And, that brings us back to the idea of personal transformation. The Kamakhya Temple, with all its complexities and contradictions, offers a path for those seeking to go beyond the surface.
Right.
To dive deep into the mysteries of self and the divine.
It's a call to embrace our wholeness, to honor the power that resides within us, both the light and the shadow.
Exactly, and that's a message that resonates deeply in today's world.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's one final thought you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Well, I'd encourage everyone to explore the world of Tantra and the Kamakhya Devi Mandir further. Read the books.
Yeah.
Watch the videos. Do your own research.
Yeah.
And most importantly, allow yourself to be curious.
Yeah.
To be open to new possibilities and to embrace the transformative power of the divine feminine.
Yeah, that's a beautiful sentiment. And I have to say, this deep dive has been a real eye-opener for me. I went in thinking we'd be talking about like a temple and a festival.
Right.
But it's so much bigger than that.
Yeah.
It's about like a whole way of seeing the world, a way of connecting with the divine that's both ancient and incredibly relevant to our lives today.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
The Kamakhya Devi Mandir isn't just like a place you visit.
Right.
It's an experience that can stay with you long after you've left, prompting you to question your assumptions and explore new dimensions of your own spirituality.
It's definitely sparked a sense of wonder in me.
Yeah. And I'm guessing our listeners are feeling it too.
I hope so.
So as we wrap things up, what's one final like thought-provoking question you'd leave them with?
Okay.
Like something to ponder as they continue their own explorations.
Well, we've talked a lot about the power of the Kamakhya Temple.
Right.
And the transformative energy of the Ambubachhi Mela. But I think it's important to remember that these aren't isolated phenomena.
Right.
There are countless other sacred sites, rituals, and traditions around the world that hold immense power and wisdom.
Okay.
So my question to your listeners is this.
Okay.
What other hidden gems are out there, like waiting to be discovered?
Right.
What other traditions might challenge our understanding of the divine and inspire us to embark on our own journeys of transformation?
That's a fantastic question to end on.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that the world is full of mysteries.
And that our exploration of the sacred is never truly finished.
Never truly finished.
So to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the heart of the Kamakhya Devi Mandir.
Yes, thank you.
We hope it's sparked your curiosity and inspired you to continue your own spiritual journeys. Until next time, keep exploring it.